Worried you'll fall overboard on your next cruise? Here's the truth, cruise lines, and the media never tell you. You're more likely to be struck by lightning than fall off a cruise ship. The shocking numbers will leave you stunned. If scary news stories have you second-guessing your cruise vacation, stick around. What you'll learn today could change your mind for good. The reality about overboard incidents is nothing like what the headlines want you to believe. Welcome to Cruise Safe, where we bust the biggest cruise myths for seniors, one episode at a time. After last week's seasickness myth that had thousands of you saying, "I wish I knew this sooner," we're diving into the real facts about overboard fears in episode 2 of our 30 Myth series. By the end of today's episode, you'll know exactly why this fear has been keeping seniors away from the vacation of a lifetime. Let's start with the myth that's been scaring seniors for decades. People fall overboard from cruise ships all the time. This fear runs so deep that many of you have told me in the comments that it's the #1 reason you avoid cruising altogether. But here's what the sensational headlines don't tell you. In 2023, there were just 12 overboard incidents worldwide. 12. Out of 31.7 million cruise passengers. That's not a typo. To put this in perspective, you're 50 times more likely to slip and fall in your own bathroom than fall off a cruise ship. You're more likely to be struck by lightning, win a lottery jackpot, or be bitten by a shark on land than go overboard on a cruise. So why does this myth persist? 3 reasons. First, the media loves dramatic stories. Passenger enjoys safe cruise doesn't sell newspapers. Passenger falls overboard makes headlines for weeks. Second, Hollywood has fed us decades of dramatic ship scenes where people tumble over railings with ease. Third, our minds naturally focus on rare but frightening events while ignoring everyday safety. The truth is, falling overboard isn't common. It's extraordinarily rare. But there's something even more shocking about these incidents that the cruise industry doesn't advertise. Stay tuned because what you'll discover about who actually goes overboard will surprise you. Now for the numbers that will change how you think about cruise safety forever. Since the year 2000, there have been roughly 300 to 400 reported overboard cases across the entire cruise industry. That covers 25 years and hundreds of millions of passengers. The Cruise Lines International Association tracks these incidents carefully. The average is about 20 to 25 people per year globally. That's across every cruise line, every ship, every destination. Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, Princess, Disney. All of them combined. But here's the hidden truth that cruise lines rarely discuss openly. The vast majority of these incidents, studies show about 77%, involve intentional acts or extreme recklessness. We're talking about suicide attempts, dangerous stunts, or people climbing over railings deliberately. The Coast Guard's data reveals something even more telling. Among accidental overboard cases, alcohol is involved in approximately 85% of incidents. These aren't sober passengers accidentally slipping over safety barriers. These are individuals who made risky choices while intoxicated. For seniors specifically, the numbers become even more reassuring. Passengers over 65 represent less than 8% of overboard incidents, despite making up nearly 40% of cruise passengers. Your natural caution and life experience are genuine safety advantages. The International Maritime Organization requires detailed reporting on these incidents. Their analysis shows that crew members account for roughly 30% of overboard cases, often during work-related activities in dangerous conditions that passengers never encounter. But here's what really shocked me when researching this episode. The cruise industry's own internal data shows something they don't want publicized. Most people believe these incidents happen at night or in rough seas. The reality? More than 60% occur during daylight hours in calm conditions. This points to deliberate actions rather than accidents. Speaking of survival, there's another number that might surprise you. While the overall rescue rate is low at about 23%, passengers who go overboard during daylight hours with immediate crew notification have survival rates exceeding 70%. Modern cruise ships can stop and deploy rescue boats faster than most people realize. The real question isn't whether you'll fall overboard. The question is whether modern safety systems can prevent it entirely, and what you're about to learn about today's ships will amaze you. Today's cruise ships aren't floating hotels. They're floating fortresses designed with safety as the top priority. The safety features built into modern vessels would astound passengers from even 20 years ago. Let's start with the most basic protection: Railings. International maritime law requires all passenger deck railings to be at least 42 inches high. That's chest height for most adults. But modern ships often exceed this requirement, with many featuring 48-inch railings or higher. These aren't decorative barriers. They're engineered to withstand hurricane-force winds and the weight of multiple people leaning against them simultaneously. The steel construction and mounting systems are tested to specifications that would impress bridge engineers. But railings are just the beginning. Step onto any modern cruise ship and you're being watched. Security cameras cover virtually every public area, including all deck spaces. These aren't basic surveillance cameras. Many ships now use advanced systems with motion detection and artificial intelligence that can identify unusual behavior patterns. The technology gets even more impressive. Ships like those in Royal Caribbean's newest fleets feature thermal imaging systems that can detect human bodies in water, even at night. These systems automatically alert the bridge when they detect anything human-sized entering the water around the ship. Man-overboard detection systems represent the cutting edge of cruise safety. Some ships use radar technology that can track objects as small as a person falling into water. Others employ infrared sensors along the ship's perimeter. When triggered, these systems automatically mark the GPS location and alert crew members within seconds. Crew training has revolutionized as well. Every crew member undergoes man-overboard response training multiple times per year. They practice deployment of rescue equipment, communication protocols, and search patterns. The response time from incident to crew notification averages under 2 minutes on modern ships. The ships themselves are designed for quick response. Modern cruise vessels can reverse engines and begin turning around in less than 30 seconds. While it takes time to stop a massive ship, the process begins immediately. Rescue boats can be deployed while the ship is still turning, cutting response times dramatically. Even the life rings and emergency equipment have evolved. Modern ships carry GPS-enabled emergency beacons that activate when thrown into water. These devices help rescue teams locate people even in rough seas or poor visibility conditions. But perhaps the most important safety feature is something most passengers never notice: the deck design itself. Modern ships feature non-slip surfaces, adequate lighting, and clear sightlines. Obstacles that could cause trips or falls are minimized through careful engineering. The result of all these safety measures: ships launched in the last decade have overboard rates nearly 40% lower than vessels from the 1990s, despite carrying more passengers. Engineering and technology are making cruises safer every year. However, all these safety systems depend on one critical factor that no amount of technology can control. And what that factor is might change how you cruise forever. Fellow seniors, our natural caution isn't just a personality trait. It's our superpower when it comes to cruise safety. The statistics prove that passengers over 65 are the safest demographic on cruise ships, and there are specific reasons why. First, let's talk about alcohol awareness. At our age, we typically know our limits better than younger passengers. But cruise ships present unique challenges. The combination of vacation relaxation, all-inclusive drinks, and being away from normal routines can affect judgment. Even one extra glass of wine near deck railings increases risk significantly. The golden rule for seniors: never approach ship railings after any alcohol consumption. Not even one beer or glass of wine. The combination of sea motion, unfamiliar surroundings, and even minimal alcohol impairment creates unnecessary risk. Save the drinks for indoor lounges and restaurants. Weather awareness becomes crucial as we age. Rough seas affect balance differently as we get older. When the captain announces high winds or rough weather, treat it seriously. Stay indoors or in protected areas. Many ships close outdoor decks during severe weather, but some areas may remain accessible. Use your judgment and err on the side of caution. Handrails are your best friends on any ship. Unlike younger passengers who might walk confidently across open decks, we should always use available handrails, especially when moving between deck levels or in areas near the ship's edge. This isn't about appearing frail, it's about being smart. Balcony safety deserves special attention. If you book a balcony cabin, treat your private balcony with respect. Never lean over the railing for photos, no matter how beautiful the view. Keep chairs and tables away from the railing edge. Some passengers have used furniture to climb higher for better photos, creating dangerous situations. The buddy system works particularly well for seniors. When exploring the ship, especially at night, travel with your spouse, friend, or family member. Not only is this more enjoyable, but it provides an extra layer of safety awareness. 2 sets of eyes and judgment are always better than 1. Night safety requires extra consideration. Ship decks can be darker than they appear, with shadows created by deck structures and lighting. If you enjoy evening walks on deck, stick to well-lit areas and always inform someone of your plans. Many ships have indoor track areas that provide safe exercise options after dark. Photo safety has become a major concern as social media grows more popular. The desire for dramatic cruise photos leads some passengers to take unnecessary risks. Never ask others to take photos of you near railings, and definitely don't climb or lean for better angles. The best cruise photos are the ones where you return home safely to share them. Medical considerations matter more as we age. If you take medications that affect balance, dizziness, or coordination, be extra cautious near any elevated areas. Some blood pressure medications, sleep aids, or pain relievers can increase fall risk even in normal circumstances. Emergency reporting is something every senior should understand. If you witness any unsafe behavior or notice damaged railings or safety equipment, report it immediately to crew members. Ships take these reports seriously and investigate quickly. Your experience and attention to detail make you excellent safety observers. Most importantly, trust your instincts. If a situation feels unsafe, it probably is. Unlike younger passengers who might ignore warning signs to appear adventurous, seniors have the wisdom to recognize and avoid potential dangers. But there's one factor that makes overboard incidents 300% more likely, and it's something that affects seniors differently than other age groups. Here's the revelation that changes everything about cruise safety: prescription medication interactions with alcohol. This combination increases overboard risk by more than 300%, and it affects seniors disproportionately because we're more likely to be taking multiple medications. The Coast Guard's incident analysis reveals that victims in overboard cases often had prescription medications in their systems alongside alcohol. Common medications like blood pressure pills, anxiety medications, sleep aids, and even some heart medications can amplify alcohol's effects dramatically. What makes this particularly dangerous for seniors is something called the vacation mindset. We might be more relaxed about our usual medication schedules or more willing to have a few drinks than we would at home. This seemingly innocent combination creates the perfect storm for impaired judgment. Blood pressure medications, which many seniors take, can cause dizziness when combined with alcohol. Anxiety medications and sleep aids multiply alcohol's sedative effects. Even over-the-counter medications like motion sickness pills can interact dangerously with alcoholic beverages. The cruise industry knows this, but rarely discusses it openly. Internal safety reports show that passenger education about medication and alcohol interactions could prevent up to 40% of serious safety incidents, not just overboard cases. Here's your protection strategy. Before your cruise, consult with your pharmacist or doctor about alcohol interactions with your current medications. Many seniors discover they need to choose between their evening medications and that sunset cocktail. The choice is obvious when you understand the risks. Create a cruise medication plan. Some passengers work with their doctors to temporarily adjust medication timing during cruises to allow for social drinking. Others choose to avoid alcohol entirely while cruising. Both approaches work, but having a plan prevents dangerous improvisation. Most cruise ships have medical centers staffed with doctors and nurses who understand these interactions. Don't hesitate to consult them if you have questions about your medications and cruise activities. The good news? Once you understand this risk factor, it's completely preventable. Unlike weather or mechanical issues, medication and alcohol interactions are entirely within your control. Let me share some real experiences that illustrate why seniors are actually the safest cruise passengers when they follow basic precautions. Margaret, a 72-year-old from Florida, contacted me after her first cruise last month. She'd been terrified about overboard risks after reading sensational news stories. During her 7-day Caribbean cruise, she counted every safety feature she noticed: cameras, railings, crew members, emergency equipment. Her final count? Over 200 visible safety measures just in the areas she frequented. Margaret's observation highlights something crucial. Cruise ships are designed by engineers who understand that passenger safety directly impacts business success. Every visible safety feature represents dozens of behind-the-scenes safety protocols and systems. Another story comes from Robert, a retired engineer from Ohio. He spent his cruise analyzing the ship's safety systems from a technical perspective. What impressed him most wasn't the height of railings or the number of cameras. It was the crew's constant vigilance. During his week aboard, he witnessed crew members intervene in risky situations 3 times. Passengers leaning too far over railings for photos, someone climbing on deck furniture, and a group attempting dangerous selfie poses. Robert realized that cruise safety isn't just about physical barriers. It's about active human oversight. Crew members are trained to spot and prevent risky behavior before incidents occur. The most touching story comes from Helen, an 78-year-old widow who cruised solo for the first time last year. She'd been nervous about traveling alone, especially given overboard fears. During her cruise, she discovered that solo senior passengers receive extra attention from crew members. Not intrusive monitoring, but friendly check-ins and assistance when needed. Helen's experience reveals something beautiful about cruise culture. The community of passengers and crew naturally looks out for each other, especially for seniors traveling alone. This informal safety network provides protection that no technology can match. These stories share a common theme. Fear of overboard incidents decreases dramatically once passengers see modern safety systems in action. The gap between perception and reality is enormous. Next week in episode 3 of our myth-busting series, we're tackling another fear that keeps seniors away from cruising: the dreaded norovirus outbreak. You'll discover the real infection rates that cruise lines don't advertise, the specific steps modern ships take to prevent outbreaks, and why cruise ships actually have lower illness rates than many hotels and resorts. Plus, the surprising truth about who's most likely to get sick on cruises and how to protect yourself completely. The numbers will shock you, the prevention methods will empower you, and the real stories from passengers who cruise during supposed outbreak periods will change your perspective entirely. What cruise safety myth should we bust next? Drop your biggest cruise fear in the comments below. Are you worried about storms at sea? Concerned about medical emergencies? Afraid of food poisoning? Your comments help me choose topics that matter most to our cruise-loving senior community. If this episode brought you peace of mind about overboard risks, hit the like button so other seniors can find these life-changing facts. Most people will forget to hit subscribe, even though it helps more than you realize. Your subscription ensures you never miss the myth-busting episodes that could save your next vacation. Ring the notification bell so you'll know the moment episode 3 drops next Tuesday. We're building the most informed cruise community for seniors online, and your participation makes us stronger. Share this episode with any friends or family members who've expressed overboard fears about cruising. The truth about cruise safety deserves to be spread, especially among seniors who might be missing out on incredible experiences due to unfounded fears. Remember, knowledge is your best safety equipment. Understanding real risks, not imaginary ones, allows you to make informed decisions about cruise travel. Modern cruise ships are marvels of safety engineering designed to protect passengers like you. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep cruising with confidence. Until next Tuesday, this is Cruise Safe, where the truth sets you free to sail.